Uncle Joel.
Put the gun down before you kill someone.
Teenage Girl's Diary.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newly Dads.
Yes.
And if this is your first time watching us, this is a 30-hour
30-hour chat
30-hour chat show.
Sit back, get ready, and relax.
For hours and hours. This is a 30-minute, half hour, that's what I was going to say, chat show, where we discuss a movie that we watched. And usually those movies are found at the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, some sort of place like that. So we have some criteria for this movie. It needs to be under $5. It needs to be a horror, sci-fi, or like thriller kind of movie. And it needs to be a movie we've never watched. So if this is your, you've been returning to us, thank you for that. You can also listen to this as a podcast. So we do record this as a video, visual kind of media, but we wanted to make it accessible for everybody. So if you're able to listen to it, you can listen to it usually on Spotify or whatever your normal podcasting, wherever Spotify sends it out to, I guess.
Available every Thursday.
Every Thursday for your listening pleasure. But we do record in our house, so sometimes you'll hear dog noises and all those other things. We try to keep it down to the minimum if we possibly can. But sometimes you'll see Shaggy or Bailey that, pop up. Right now they're sleepy because they're tired.
They just had breakfast or lunch or something.
It's breakfast.
Breakfast for them.
We're recording this in the morning, which we usually don't do. Actually, almost noon though, so.
Close enough.
Yeah. But this week we watched Zombiegeddon.
Chris Watson Zombie.
Joel was excited about this. You found this movie.
I did. I found it at a little resale shop in Janesville.
Oh.
Was it Janesville?
Yeah.
The one that our friend did the artwork?
Yes.
Was that at Janesville?
Yeah, that's in Janesville.
I don't remember the name of that one, but it was in the basement of that shop. There was a few videos on the shelf, and I saw Trauma, and I immediately went, yoink, checked it to make sure it wasn't damaged, and off we went.
This is a weird movie.
We have thoughts.
It's a Trauma movie, so Joel's super excited about that. He loves him some Uncle Lloydie so very much.
Don't make it weird.
You're the one that makes it weird. I'm like, I love Uncle Lloydie. But do you want me to read the synopsis?
Yes, please.
So we can get down to business, because he's got lots of thoughts on this. I'm sure.
I have some notes.
He always has some notes. And I'm not going to say who's all in it. I mean, it's
we'll get to that.
Large list of who's on it or who's in it. So zombies, kung fu, zombie-eating tigers, bare breasts, and Joe Estevez. A new race of flesh-eating zombies has been created by Satan and released from their fiery pit to begin a hostile takeover of the world. When dirty cops Jeff and Cage stumble across this maniacal plan, they find themselves in the unenviable position of having to stop the ever-multiplying legions of the living dead by any means necessary. Sometimes frightening, sometimes funny, Zombiegeddon is the ultimate B-movie. That's a nice long synopsis.
I mean, it's accurate. I don't know about the last line, but overall, it's pretty close to what. And Joe Estevez is in it, so that's true.
Ain't It Cool News said, I'd be shocked if it didn't become a cult classic. Film Threat said the ultimate film geek movie.
I mean, these are reputable sources, but I don't know that I agree with them entirely, but we got thoughts. We'll talk about them.
We do have thoughts. Is there a trailer for this?
No. I looked, and there was the one that kept popping up that said Zombiegeddon trailer was a bunch of, it was basically a scene that had nothing to do with the film whatsoever. So what I'm going to put in here instead of a trailer is a scene from the film that I found that will give you a taste for it, since there's no actual trailer to enjoy. So you'll be able to watch that uninterrupted and just kind of see what we put ourselves through.
So does that mean there's no trailer that's going to pop up?
I mean, technically, I guess that would.
Can we just have
see,
like a shambling zombie just come across?
I mean, that's up to you.
Because it's, you know, zombie get in.
That's your stick.
Being
so.
chased by Satan.
How are we gonna? How? I don't know how to do that.
If you're listening to this,
Okay.
we usually do this little shtick where you know we talk about the trailer, and then he pops up a trailer on the screen, and then I usually try to give descriptors for it so he can make it.
And then I
think
gotta
you
try
can do
and create it. So we'll try.
Just Satan and
A zombie.
a zombie.
I don't think that's ever been done before.
I think you could
except
probably
in the
just
movie.
draw that, and I could animate it for you. That would
I
take
ain't
a
got time
long
for that.
time. I know who's got time to animate.
We
and
got
draw.
an event coming up here soon that we got to prepare for. Which, incidentally, if you'd like to find out where we're going to be, as well as all the information about the stuff she's talked about, as well as our blogs that we write
You can go
and
to-
our other YouTube channels, you can go to.
thenewlydeads.com for all of your.
Newly Dead's Needs.
I was gonna say, yeah, I want to say
Oh.
something different besides spooky needs. I'm like, it's not. I mean, it's spooky.
Your Newly
but
Dead's
not-
needs.
Your Newly Dead's needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we write blogs, and we've got events coming up in October, especially. We've got the Witches Market that's going to be at the Boone County Fairgrounds in Belvedere, Illinois.
It's going to be huge. We're talking literally thousands of people.
Yeah, it's like
Descending.
175 vendors or something like that, I think is what they're doing this
And
year.
about 7.5 thousand people are interested. And of that, probably 4,000 to 5,000 will show up.
Yeah. They've got a witches dance and,
Live music,
Live music. They've
Food.
got bands playing. Yeah.
coffee,
Food. Yeah. Coffee.
drinks.
All sorts of fun stuff.
It's going to be a good time. Last year was a lot of fun and it was insanity. And, but you can come check us out, say hi. We'll be selling our wares. You can check around us, and all of our good spooky friends will be there selling as well. And you can see what we do in our spare time with the artwork we create.
All right. So let's go ahead and watch the non-trailer trailer.
Just watch a
Yes.
scene from Zombageddon.
And Satan and the zombie will
I mean, they've been here for a little bit. But
carry us out.
there they go.
All right. We'll be right back.
Do it.
And we're back. Go, Joe, go. Joel has a goal.
Who's Joe and where is he goaling? Goal, Joel, goal.
Go, Joel, go.
So
It's hard to say.
I take notes
Go,
whenever we
Joel.
watch these movies, and I typically draw some pictures, and sometimes Laura takes notes, and
I do.
then she collects all of it, and at the end of the year, you'll be able to see it on our website when she puts it all together in a little flippity book. So look for that coming soon here. It's August now, so it'll be up there at January. Anyway, this is what I drew this time. So no, that's not Joe from Family Guy.
It does kind of look like him.
No, that's not the other guy that I said it kind of looked like. That's supposed to be Robert Zadar,
Yeah.
and his big chin. And then that's just a weird face. And then towards the
Pizza?
end, there was a thing about pizza.
And you wanted pizza.
So I drew a pizza because at the end they were talking about pizza for some reason. I don't remember why.
Pizza does sound good.
And so I drew a pizza. Yeah, we were talking about pizza last night after. right
Pizza
before we went to
always
bed,
sounds good, actually.
That we were kind of wanting pizza. We've got pizza out in the freezer. We could make it anytime, but it's not quite the same. So Zombiegeddon is from 2003, currently sitting at 2.9 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database. Well, we'll get to whether that's normal or not. So this was directed and written by Chris Watson, as it says on the title there. It says Chris Watson's Zombiegeddon, who did one other thing called Dead in Love and this, and that's it. Since 2003, they did that and this. So in 21 years, they've made 2 movies, I guess, which is better than me. You know, in the last 21 years, I've not made a movie. Made a lot of this content, which if you added it all up, would make multiple movies. But, you know, like 30 hours. And we do shows that are 30 hours long. I mean, that's going to happen.
Very funny.
So instead of giving you information as far as what each person has been in terms of the cast, I'm just going to give you the entire cast.
It's long.
Because these are just the people that are names. So if you don't recognize the name, look them up and you might recognize the face or the credits. But yeah, it's a long list. So we've got Uwe Boll, who I hate his films except for the Rampage series. Otherwise, the guy was in a celebrity boxing match. That's how much he's disliked by Hollywood. Conrad Brooks from the Plan 9 from Outer Space stuff. I said I wasn't going to tell you what they were in. Joe Estevez, who is...
That's Emilio and Charlie Sheen's uncle.
Joe Flyshaker, who is a trauma...
I should say
like-
Emilio Estevez and Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, that's
Sorry.
okay. Joe Flyshaker, who is a trauma, like always in all the trauma films until he passed away, sadly. Trent Haga is another guy that's in a ton of trauma stuff that has since... He's not dead, but I don't know if he's still doing them. Ron Jeremy, who... we'll just skip Ron Jeremy. Piece of crap. Lloyd Kaufman. Yep, we love Uncle Lloydie. Tina Kraus, who if you don't know, look it up. You will probably recognize Edwin Neal, the hitchhiker from a certain movie about a chainsaw that is in a southern state. Linnea Quigley, who is one of the original Scream Queens. Fred Olen Ray, who is an exhibitionist film like legend. Felissa Rose, who we've talked about Felissa Rose a lot on this show because she's not really a friend of ours, but we like to think we are connected to her in some way. We love Felissa. Tom Savini, who is God in this movie, literally. Brink Stevens, another
It was Jesus.
Scream Queen original, who is fantastic. Julie Strain, another one that's an early Scream Queen that was in this. Robert Zadar, that we just talked about, who is known for his large kind of facial features, which is due to a condition he has. He also has passed away, but most people know him as the Maniac Cop in the Maniac Cop franchise. Matt. Oh, I forgot his name now.
He said it.
He joked about it in the movie several times.
It was pretty funny.
It's like Matt Brackman or something like that. That's not right. I'll look it up and I'll put it here. Anyway, and William Smith, who's a guy you would recognize his voice and his face, but you may not recognize his the name. All of his scenes were with Joe Estevez in the film. So if you watch it ever, you'll know who he is. Anyway, that's everybody.
Did you say Lila Stabs?
I didn't because I don't know who she is.
Oh.
She's on there. It's credited, but
She's on the front.
was one of the main people in the movies, but I'd never heard of her. So she might be a trauma person from that time frame.
Julie Strain. Did you say that one?
I did.
Okay.
Because Uncle Lloydie has his stable of people that kind of make movies. And since he doesn't really pay very much or anything at all in a lot of cases, people kind of come and go and then move on. Like, for example, one James Gunn you may have heard of is a trauma graduate who is still friends with Lloyd, puts him in his movies quite often. But then there's a lot of people that just kind of move on and go on to live regular lives. So Tromettes come and go, which I'm thinking she might be.
I just like her name.
Yeah, she was. She was a main character. So anyway, at this point, my wife turns to me and says,
"What'd you think?"
And here's where we really get into it. So it was kind of funny. My youngest kid watches movies with us because they like horror movies sometimes. And so occasionally they'll stick around. They're not quite as often to stick around because they don't really like movies that are a waste of their time. But
they're never a waste of our time. We enjoy them.
Exactly. But
even if we give them a -10.
Their opinions on things are a little different than ours. But anyway, so it's fun. It was funny because at the beginning of the movie, Trent Haga and a few other like talking heads start out by talking about how terrible the movie is, including Uwe Boll, who is known for being a terrible filmmaker. They spend like the first 5-10 minutes just talking about how bad it is and not to watch it, which I think is kind of a funny way to kick off a movie because it's kind of setting the tone that they're going to tell you that it's that bad. So either A, it's going to make it look that much better, or you're going to have the expectation that it's bad and it's going to be bad. I don't know which way it was going to go. I felt like it started off making me actually enjoy it maybe a little more because I was expecting it to be worse than it was, but we'll get to the rest of it. Huge cast, lots of names, as we've talked about. My kid, as they were sitting there watching it at the beginning, said, "This is the perfect movie." And I don't remember what the context was and why they said that.
I think there was something in the beginning that was saying that it was like the perfect movie or something like that.
Either that or it was something where they were being facetious.
They were being facetious. Well, because like the whole first part of the movie is people saying how crappy the movie is.
Lots of words that fecal matter, different variations on that term.
It's pretty funny. And then, so I think she said something about it must be good because all these people are saying bad things about it. Something like that.
And it's interesting because at first it starts off, there's a lot of variations of, or lots of various people that are doing different things in the movie, and it almost feels like an anthology. But then eventually, as it slowly filters down to where you can tell that it's one continuous story. But in the beginning, the way that the storytelling was done is a little disjointed. Also, the zombies didn't seem to have the same rules as typical zombies. Like they seem to change at will. Like one of the things, they like literally would look like us, and all of a sudden they would turn and they would be zombies.
It was very confusing.
Why?
There was a lot of confusing parts, especially the beginning. Because the fact that they did all of those weird, intros with people saying that it sucked, it was like, is it starting? Is it not starting?
Yeah.
And then you're like, is this part of the movie? Like, you couldn't quite tell like what was going on.
Because it starts with Brinke Stevens and Tom Savini in bed together, just having played Bouncy Castle, and Brinke Stevens is a radio host, intimate. And Tom Savini is Jesus, and so right from the get-go, you're like, what is happening?
Yeah, it was confusing. Yeah. Then the story, the whole movie is almost being told by the point of view from Brinke Stevens because Jesus told her the story of it.
And she's hanging out.
It does like a flashback, and you can't tell if it's a flashback or if it's the current time at first.
It's a little, because she's in the studio with Conrad Brooks, who's telling her the story, or he's talking with her about it. I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, but then like it goes to that little kid and his dad and the tiger.
2 tigers.
Yeah.
There's 2 actual tigers in the film, guys.
Which is really funny because when we were talking to his kid,
they're a huge Walking Dead fan, which so are we. But
and so I was like, huh, and they were like, so, is this like The Walking Dead or whatever? And I was like, I think this probably predates The Walking Dead. And then I was like, maybe that's where they got the idea from. And then sure enough, it came out the same year as the comic book did, right?
The comic book started. And so we confirmed that this probably was prior to Ezekiel and I forget the tiger's name, being introduced in the Walking Dead comics, because the TV series was introduced much later, that character. So
Could have been an inspiration.
Kirkman, did you get the idea from the movie? I kind of doubt it, but it's a weird little thing that was very similar.
I feel like they probably watched as many zombie movies as they possibly can, right? Like you kind of have to immerse yourself in that whole like genre in order to do.
I would hope so.
You know what I mean?
But maybe not, because if they don't want to be influenced to the point where they're like aping things, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
This movie also, along with those zombies being able to change their appearance at will from normal to zombified, they like knew karate and stuff. Like there was kung fu kind of fighting zombies.
Yeah, there's this one point where this like kung fu zombie breaks the neck of another zombie.
That's the scene that we showed in between.
Oh,
it's that fight scene. So
yeah,
I probably should have told you that. But yeah, that you saw that in the clip.
I'm like, why did the zombie kill the other zombie? There's no reason for it.
Established dominance, like in prison.
Yeah, I get that. That is kind of what it felt like. It was weird.
It was strange.
So much fighting, karate, kung fu,
and lots of bad cop behavior. Like super
oh my
bad
gosh,
cop behavior.
It was like Training Day meets, I don't know,
a bad zombie movie,
a toilet.
I do have to give credit to Joe Estevez and William Smith for not phoning it in. Like, out of everybody in the cast, like Joe Estevez was 100% pedal to the metal. This is a serious movie. I'm going to play this part to the nines. And he did. Like, he never phones in his performances because, you know, he doesn't know when his next performance is going to be, perhaps. But he was one of the like high points of the movie because he was so committed to that character. Because William Smith plays King Zombie, and he basically plays like King Zombie's lackey.
He was Satan.
Yeah, more. I mean, he was called King Zombie in the
Satan.
And on IMDb, that was his name, was King Zombie. But I guess, you know.
Yeah, so zombies have been created by Satan.
Maybe
he was because
he's the guy that caused the whole problem.
Yeah.
And then Joe.
Maybe he was King Zombie then, though, because he was the leader of those zombies, and if he gets killed or hurt or whatever, then yeah.
Which, wow, I don't know if we're calling spoilers on this.
Because it's not Satan then. They were one of Satan's minions, I bet. Because he didn't look like he had horns.
So, like, Satan created the zombies and then said, "Here, you take control."
Yes,
of
I
them?
think that's actually what
Maybe.
happened. I know, I'm almost positive. I think they even tell that a little bit.
Which
story?
I don't know if we're gonna, you know, call spoilers or not, but I don't know what the heck happened at the end. Like, the whole movie kind of lost steam towards like the third act.
I know what happened.
And I felt, well, no, I mean, like, but why? Like, it was more, not like I didn't understand what happened, but like it just felt like a cop out. I don't know, to be punny.
I feel like they just wanted to show how fragile it is and like, you know, how easy it is for the zombies to come back.
And without a beat, like they don't actually just like turn into a puddle or disintegrate or die or anything. They just like disappear, and then like whenever the things happen that can bring them back, they just reappear out of nowhere. They're the exact same zombies
in the exact same spot.
So where'd they go? Like,
they went to hell.
Like, and they're hanging out down there, just like waiting for somebody to push a button to send them back.
Mm-hmm.
It's just weird.
That's the way I interpreted it.
And also, to be sure that you understood this was a low-budget zombie film, there was a bug on the lens at one point, and it was very clear.
It was like crawling around on the lens.
So we were watching
there's a bug. Ew.
We watched it go.
It was like an ant or something.
As Robert Z'Dar was talking with one of the other characters, it was crawling around, just interfering. So, is it about that time to give our final thoughts on this?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Before we talk about what I'm going to recommend and then what we're doing next week.
So out of yeah, on a scale out of 5, I'm just trying to think like something that jumped out. That would be like a good, yeah, I know, right? We'll just say Tom Savini's.
Oh.
Or Uncle Lloydies.
Which one?
Out of 5 Uncle Lloydies. Because it's
Weird. Okay.
he was in it a lot. He was a janitor.
Yeah, he was a primary sub character. Like he wasn't the main character, but he was there for a while and
Mm-hmm.
moved the plot forward.
That makes sense then, because it's a trauma film. So it's like, on the trauma scale.
I mean, Tom
How many
Savini,
Uncle Lloydies
doesn't
would you
pop
give
up
it?
as much. So ultimately, I ended up at a 1.5. When it started out, I had high hopes because it felt like it was going to be, like they were saying, maybe a cult classic, but it just lost so much steam that the third act, I was like,
I didn't fall asleep during it. That was
Sure.
good. I was entertained. So I will give it a 2.
you gave it more than me. That's shocking.
Shocking. All right. So if they don't want to watch this film, what do you recommend?
What? Oh, so this one, there's so many zombie movies to pick from. I decided to go with the what's the word I'm looking for? Classmate, I guess is the best word. So prior to the movie starting, my kid and my wife were introduced to Poltergeist, Night of the Living Dead, or Night of the Chicken Dead, excuse me, from 2006, which is another trauma film and
Is that what
my
you chose?
favorite. So that's the one I'm going with.
Can I tell you, this says this is an exclusive first look at Poultrygeist. So
That's
this is
funny,
before
'cause-
Poultrygeist came out.
Yeah, it was 2006, and this was 2003.
Yeah.
Poltergeist is probably my favorite trauma film, followed by The Toxic Avenger.
Yeah,
But anyway, I've seen it multiple times. When Lloyd was out doing promotion on it, we interviewed him on the show I used to do called The Awful Show. I've got his autograph on a couple of the promo stuff from it downstairs that are framed, that are in a box somewhere that we haven't put up yet. But anyway, it's a zombie movie, but it's a different take on it, where you have chicken zombies. It's satirical. It's a musical. It's funny. They were both laughing at the trailer. So if you've not seen it, it's not for everybody because it is a little bit left of center, and yeah, it's a bit of an acquired taste that might not be for people with sensitive dispositions.
Yeah, they use words that we don't like to use nowadays.
But I enjoy it, and I've seen it several times. I have the soundtrack on my phone.
Awesome. So what are we watching next week?
So I'm excited because this one we
Should I
found.
blow it up?
That's up to you.
You wanna put it
is
on the
blow
shelf?
upable? I mean, it's going to end up on the mega shelf downstairs with all the movies we've watched so
You
far.
want to keep it?
But it's up to you. I mean, if you blow it up, it's still going to end up downstairs in the shelf.
All right, I'll blow it up. I want it to be like a green cloud. Or no, you can do whatever.
That's fine. Just I don't control that. That's up to. So this one we found at the All Night Flea Market,
Oh,
I believe.
that's
If I
exciting.
remember correctly.
Oh, is it the snow creature?
No, it's a collection.
I know there's 8 bonus movies.
So we're watching the first film on the list.
So it's the snow creature, but then it says includes 8 bonus movies. So the thing is the snow creature, and then there's 8 more movies on it.
Well, the movie we're watching is the first one on the list there.
The snow creature.
No. I have it as The She Beast from 1966.
No, the snow creature.
Is that an actual movie? I just thought that was the name of the thing.
Yeah,
I
no.
took notes for The She Creature.
Well, and it's funny. It says it's got 8 bonus
She-Beast.
movies. Yeah, it's the snow creature. And then it's Blood Predator, The She Beast, Chupacabra versus the Alamo, and Curse of the Wolf. But that's not 8 bonus movies. It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Weird. Well, I have She Beast as the one we're watching next week, but that's my fault. So I guess
Yeah.
we're watching The Snow Creature.
The snow creature.
From what year?
Is that okay?
I'll just have to
Did you
rewrite
already
the
do
notes.
all your notes and stuff?
That's right.
for
I'll
it?
just rewrite them.
No. We'll
is-
start with She Beast. We can start with She Beast.
It's my mistake. I was trying to get.
But
things
yeah, it's
moving.
the snow creature, and then it says 8 bonus movies. Which,
Weird. There must
again,
be a
is
second
lie.
disc that we didn't get.
No, because like there's no. You would think it'd have all of them listed then.
No, they might have them on 2 different discs.
Oh, I
Like a
see.
second disc with the. This happens just frequently when you go buy stuff at dollar
It's just
sales.
a giant ape or whatever.
But he's
gorilla.
white, so he's in the snow. He's like that one movie we watched, the foreign film that we watched for this show, which had the giant Snow Monster.
Yeah,
It was kind of reminds me of that a
I
little
liked
bit.
that one actually.
That was better than it should have been. Anyway,
so we're gonna watch Chibi's because you already got notes. Is that okay?
Sure, I
Yeah.
guess it's from 1966.
So we're gonna watch The She-Beast. The She-Beast, an Italian Yugoslavian horror gem.
Yeah.
That's a weird mashup there, right?
That's just it. That's why I wanted to watch it.
Serves up lots
Probably.
of ghoulish fun with a sinister story about Veronica, who's played by Barbara Steele, a beautiful young bride who is possessed by an 18th century Transylvanian witch that was murdered by local villagers. Bent on getting her revenge, the witch spawns plenty of bloody mayhem. That sounds fun. It's not rated. It says it's violence and profanity. I'm excited.
And if you're an
about The
Italian film
She-Beast.
lover from the 60s, 70s, you will know Barbara Steele. So that's a fun little bonus for the film. That's probably why I was excited about it. But I should have read
Yeah.
it better because I didn't realize that The Snow Creature was an actual film. I just thought it was like the name of this collection.
Yeah, it's just
My
like,
bad.
The Snow Creature, and it includes 8 bonus movies.
And 4 other films.
Curse of the Wolf, Chupacabra versus the Alamo, which sounds hilarious, and then Blood Predator. All right. Well, that's it for our show today. We already did all of our Newly Deads things.
Yep.
Please go and visit the website, thenewlydeads.com. And until next week,
Keep it cheap and creepy.
thanks for watching. Bye.
Go look after your mother and sister. Where are you going?
I'm gonna finish this. Goodbye, Tom.
Yeah, it's Wynorski, yeah. No, I can't make it because this guy, Watson, he's doing this zombie Geddon flick. He wants to borrow the head from Komodo. I don't know what he wants it for. It's just like, I don't know, I guess he wants to throw everything in but the kitchen sink. I don't particularly care. The thing's rotting in my garage, and I'm just going to strap it to my car and take it over there. No, I don't think, I don't think the kid's all there. But if he wants it, he wants it. I'm happy to do it for him. All right, listen, I'll see you later, baby.